Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It is Friday, October 31st, 2014, and I'm Ann McAdoo. Here are tonight's top stories.
Tonight.
Giving up your freedom is always tough. You have to make compromises.
And clowns gone wild. That's next on the Infowars Nightly News.
That guy looks like they're a thug. It looks like they're tough. Okay, if they try to shake me down, I'm just going to say, I'm going to ignore them and keep walking. And if they come up to me and try to put a hand on me, I'm going to punch them right in the throat.
Well, we are just a few days away from the midterm elections. It is such an important election cycle. We've got 100 and plus members of the lower house up for re-election, 36 senators, 36 governors. Now, Obama has stated again and again that he is not running this election cycle, but of course, his agenda is still on the ballot. And that's what we really need to see. Will this be a referendum on tyranny? Will people get elected who are going to fight back? Now, mainstream outlets are reporting that, there's a pretty good chance that Republicans are going to take control of the Senate. A little bit differing figures here. New York Times is giving Republicans about a 70% chance of taking the Senate. That's going to obviously fluctuate as these early votes come in. And then the Washington Post is giving the Republicans a greater than 95% chance. Now, this is, of course, as of today. Now, of course, all of this is based on early voting. Things could change in those critical states, of course, coming up, and we'll find out Tuesday. But because this is such an important election, we are really seeing a lot of the campaigns playing dirty. Now, especially the Democrats, we know they love to play dirty. I don't want to take sides, but we'll just go ahead and point it out. It's been a lot of voter fraud. We are seeing a lot of like La Raza drawing maps to point out which voting polls you can go to where there's no ID required. Of course, this cycle, they've really sort of cozied up to the Hispanic voters while ignoring, for the most part, the African-American voters that were their tried and true beloved pocket voters that they always kind of had in their pocket. Well, earlier this week, Rebel Pundit released that video. It went mega viral. We were seeing the beginning of black voters really saying, we are tired of this, and we're waking up to the fact that we have been voting for these bad policies, and it is the black-on-black crime of our poor black leadership that has basically duped these neighborhoods into voting for the very bad policies that are going to take them down. Well, now, because of this, the Democrats are seeing, oh, wait a minute, we're losing our pocket voters. We need to really ramp it up here on these days, up and leading up till Tuesday. So what do? Well, they don't release a bunch of videos saying, African-American voters, we hear you, and we hear how upset you are with your neighborhoods and your situation. Here's how we're going to help you. No, what they do is they go to the tried and true race-baiting tactic that has always been their favorite thing. And that's how stupid they think black voters are, is that all they have to do is just say, don't vote for the old white guy, they're racist, and that's how you're going to vote. Now, we're seeing a lot of reports about campaign flyers using the images of lynchings, Jim Crow laws, and the recent racial unrest in Ferguson, Missouri. We've got some ads pointing out how the Stand Your Ground laws, which killed Trayvon Martin, all very visual things that are going to appeal to the emotions of the black voter. Now, these are just really popping up here in this last week. Charlie Rangel says that some Republicans believe that slavery isn't over. Now, he does this repeatedly, but he has compared some members of the GOP to Confederates from the Civil War era. He says, everything we believe in, everything they hate. They don't disagree, they hate. So it's just very powerful words there. And in contrast, Rangel said that the Democratic Party is doing God's work on issues that are important to the American people, like education, healthcare, affordable housing, paying people the minimum wage. Now, he doesn't point out that by doing God's work, they're basically enslaving the population, getting bigger government and more control. And now you can, of course, contrast that with what Rand Paul said the other day. He said, currently, this Democratic leadership is telling you how to run your businesses, which doctor you can see, what kind of foods you can eat, how big your sodas can be, and of course, monitoring your phone calls and soaking up all of your data without a warrant. So that's what we're really experiencing here by the Democrats doing God's work. And also just to point out, by them using the whole situation in Ferguson, Ferguson is under the leadership of a Democratic governor. So, he was so surprised that all of these militarized weapons that he signed on for his state were actually being used. So, people are really waking up to the fact, but it's not just race baiting. Now we've got the incumbent Senator Mary Landrieu of Louisiana. Now she's in such danger of losing her seat that she's throwing her entire state under the bus, saying she and Obama are unpopular there because in the South, blacks and women have had it hard. So boom, double whammy. She's going to go racism and sexism. Now, of course, she doesn't really get to the bottom of if it's so hard for her there, if it's such an uphill battle, why she has been elected 3 times and she is now fighting the uphill battle for her 4th term. Now, retired Air Force Colonel Rob Maness stressed that there are very good reasons that she is facing an uphill battle and her bid for 4th term is in jeopardy. It has nothing to do with racism or sexism. He says maybe if the senator actually lived in Louisiana, she would know that the reason why she and President Obama are so unpopular is because of the policies they support and the big government agenda that they have imposed on Louisiana's working families. And that is just it. That's what we are waiting to see. Is this midterm election going to be a referendum on tyranny? We've got to stop saying, oh, I decided to vote for the lesser of 2 evils. Why are you voting for evil at all? Vote for the candidate who is for freedom, who's going to uphold the Constitution, is going to protect America, is going to fight back against tyranny. But again, it's not just racism, not just sexism now, it's outright threats. And we're seeing a lot of the campaign, the emails come out, they're all very desperate. Send us your money. Why aren't you here? Did I see you? Trying to trick you into clicking and donating more money. But Democrats are basically telling voters, show up to the polls or else. Now, the New York State Democratic Committee is bullying people into voting next week with intimidating letters. They're warning that it can easily find out which slackers fail to cast a ballot next Tuesday. Who you vote for is your secret, but whether or not you vote is public record. We will be reviewing voting records to determine whether you joined your neighbors who voted in 2014. And of course, it ends with a line that's suited to a mob movie rather than a major political party saying, if you do not vote this year, we will be interested to hear why not. So basically saying vote or else. And one woman also reports that she received a report card of her voting record that pointed out that she had failed to vote in 2 of the last 4 elections. So this is the Big Brother agenda that's coming your way. Not only are they going to tell you what you can drink and what you can eat, what your children can eat when they go to school, if there can be salt on the table or not, now they're saying vote or not. And if we're going to get your neighbors to see something or say something, Facebook is, of course, now saying, yes, indeed, we did do more secret experimentation on our users with our I voted thumbs up thing that was there on the Facebook accounts. And of course, that swings largely Democratic as well. But it is this Big Brother agenda of applying social pressure on people to get them to vote. And who's going to be knocking on your door when you don't vote? The Democratic Party. So basically, this is all just smoke and mirrors. We really should not kid ourselves with who is going to take control of the Senate and are things going to change when the GOP controls it? Do we have a lame duck president? It doesn't matter. Both parties are the same. It's just to divide and conquer tactic. We know there's a revolving door between corporations and the government. Bipartisanship abounds. When the GOP does get in, we're going to see, increased military spending and more war. Both parties supported the Patriot Act. They both support mass surveillance and scooping up all of your data. They support the war on terror and the war on drugs. So what is actually going to happen if the GOP takes control of the Senate? Just more of the same. But again, we are asking the question, will this election be the referendum on tyranny?
You don't have to wait till Election Day. You can vote all week. I mean, you can only vote once. This isn't Chicago now.
This election is about more than just Republicans versus Democrats. There are other candidates, as well as ballot issues that will affect your liberty, your prosperity, and your health. Join Alex Jones and the Infowars Nightly News for live pre-election coverage Monday, November 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. Central, and for analysis of election night results Tuesday, November 4th from 6 to 10 p.m. Central, live on prisonplanet.tv and infowars.com/election.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.